Welcome back in this lecture of the Bessel function. Today I am going to discuss the generative function of the Bessel function, and with the help of this generative function I will derive the Jacobi identity and the Jacobi integral. So generative function of Bessel function. The function e power x by 2 t minus 1 by t is known as generative function of the Bessel function. This is known as your generative function of the Bessel function, and we have e power x by 2 t minus 1 by t equal to this summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity t power n into jnx. So that means we can say that our jnx is the coefficient of t power n in this left hand side. So that means this left hand side generates the jnx. So that is why we call it as a generative function, because we can have the value of jnx from this expression. So proof. Let us start with the left hand side. So in the left hand side we have x by 2 into t minus 1 by t. Now this can be written as e power x t upon 2 into e power minus x t upon 2. So let us open these two brackets. So this is your e power x, and the value of e power x is 1 plus x square upon factorial 2. Then we will have x power cube upon factorial 3. Then your last term, general term, will be 1 upon factorial n. Then we have xt upon 2 power n. Then your next term will be 1 upon n plus 1 factorial. Then we will have xt upon 2 power n plus 1, and so on, multiplied by your next term. This will be your 1 plus minus xt upon 2 minus this is your x upon 2t. We have minus x upon 2t. Then we will have 1 upon factorial 2 minus x upon 2t whole square. Then your nth term will be 1 upon factorial n minus x upon 2t power n multiplied plus the next term will be 1 upon n plus 1 factorial. Then we have minus x upon 2t power n plus 1. Okay. Now let us, then we will have x upon 2 power n. Then now if you multiply this term to this term, then here you can see that this 1 upon t will give you t to power n. So the coefficient of t to power n in this case will be equal to minus 1 upon n plus 1 factorial, and here we will have x upon 2, and again we have x upon 2 power n plus 1. So this will be your x upon 2 power n plus 2, and this is nothing but your jnx. This was the definition of jnx, because your jnx is equal to r equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 to power r factorial r gamma n plus r plus 1 into x upon 2 power n plus 2r. So if you expand this series, then you can see that this is our jnx. So when we equate the coefficient of t to power n, then we get this thing. Now if we equate the coefficient of t to power minus n, what is mean by t to power minus n? Now let us start with this term. So if you take this term in the numerator, then we will have t to power minus n. So the coefficient of t to power minus n will be your this 1 into this term. Then we will have this term multiplied by this term. Then we will get again the coefficient of t to power minus n. So again your coefficient of t power minus n will be just equal to j minus nx. your coefficient of t to the power minus n will be equal to j minus nx, where my n is replaced by minus n, and your j minus nx is nothing but your minus 1 to the power n jnx. We will prove this one. So where this is equal to minus 1 to the power n into jnx. Therefore, we can say that the coefficient of t to the power n when your n is positive is your jnx, and the coefficient of t to the power n when your n is negative is your, if you replace n by minus n, then we will get j minus nx. So thus we can write, therefore we can write the e to the power x by 2 into t minus 1 by t equal to, now this is your t to the power n into jnx. So the coefficient of t to the power n is jnx when your n starts from 0 to infinity. That means when your n is positive, and if your n is negative, so when you start from minus n to minus 1, then your coefficient of t to the power minus n is j minus nx. So here this is your from 0 to infinity, and this is your minus 1 to minus infinity. So this can be written as minus infinity to plus infinity, the coefficient of t to the power n is jnx. If your n is positive, then we will get plus jnx, and if your n is negative, then we will get our j minus nx. So we write plus nx. Okay. Now if you put t equal to, if you put n equal to minus 1, then this will be your, just write it from n equal to minus 1 to minus infinity. So here we have positive values, and then here we have the negative values. So that means here we will get the coefficient as j minus n, and the coefficient of t power minus n is j minus n, and here the coefficient of t power plus n is j plus n. So the coefficient of t to the power n in this expansion is your jnx. So that is why this e to the power x by 2 into t minus 1 by t is known as the generating function of the Bessel function. Now I will discuss the original definition of Bessel function and the Jacobi integral and Jacobi series. So we have the Jacobi series and Jacobi integral. We know that your e to the power x by 2 into t minus 1 by t is equal to your summation from minus infinity to infinity t to the power n into jnx. Now this can be written as j naught, then j1x. Let us write the positive term first, t into j1x, then we will have t square into j2x, and then we will have t power n into jnx. Then if we start with the negative coefficient, then we will have t power minus 1 into j minus 1, then we will have t minus 2 into j minus 2, then we will have t minus n and j minus n x. Okay. As your j minus n is equal to minus 1 to the power n into jn, so this left hand side is equal to, now here we can replace this j minus 1 by minus 1 into j1, we can replace this j minus 2 by minus 1 power 2 into j2. So this left hand side can be written as j naught, then if you take j1 common, then we will have t minus 1 by t. Now if you take j2 common, then this is your j minus 2 is equal to minus 1 power 2 into j2. So this will be your t square minus 1 by t square, and so on. Okay, if we put t equal to cos theta plus I sin theta, then your 1 by t will be cos theta plus I sin theta power minus 1. So this is equal to cos theta minus I sin theta. Again from here, your t power p equal to cos p theta plus I sin p theta because of the De Moivre's theorem, and your t minus p will be equal to cos p theta minus I sin p theta. So that means your t power p plus t power minus p, the sum of these two will be your 2 times cos p theta, and your t power p minus t power minus p will be equal to 2I sin p theta. So we have these two values. Therefore, now this equation becomes, so this equation will be, say this is your equation number 1. So equation 1 implies, hence by 1 we have e to power x by 2. Your t minus 1 by t is equal to your t minus 1 by t is equal to, now put the value of p as 1. So this will be your 2I sin theta. So we will have 2I sin theta equal to your right hand side j naught, then we will have j1 into 2I sin theta, then we will have j2 into 2 cos theta, 2 cos 2 theta, then we will have j3 into 2I sin 3 theta, and so on. Now this left hand side is equal to, now this 2 and this 2 will get cancelled, so this is your e to power I theta. So we have e to power I into x sin theta, and your right hand side is equal to j naught. Then we have the term, real terms. So this is your j naught plus 2j2 cos 2 theta. Your next term will be 2j4 cos 4 theta, and so on. Then we have the imaginary terms. So this is your 2I j1 sin theta. Then we will have 2j3 sin 3 theta, and then 2j5 sin 5 theta. So let us equate the real and imaginary part on both sides, because your e to power I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta. So in the left hand side we will have cos of, this is your e to power I theta. So your real part will be cos theta, that means cos of x sin theta. So equating real and imaginary part, we get, so if you equate real and imaginary parts, then your real part will be cos of x sin theta, and this will be your 2, this will be your j naught plus 2j2 cos 2 theta plus 2j4 cos 4 theta, and so on. And your imaginary part will be j1 sin 2 theta, 2j1 sin theta, then we will have 2j1 sin theta, then we will have 2j1 sin 3 theta, 2j3 sin 3 theta, then we will have 2j5 sin 5 theta, and so on. These two series are known as Jacobi series. These two series are known as Jacobi series. Now, let us integrate these two equations. Let us integrate equation number, say this is your equation number 2, and say this is your equation number 3. Let us integrate these two equations, because we have to find out the Jacobi series. These are the Jacobi series and Jacobi integral. For Jacobi integral, let us integrate equation number 2 and equation number 3 from 0 to pi with respect to theta. So, integrating equation number 2 and 3, and before that let us multiply this equation by your cos n theta, and this equation by sin n theta. So if you multiply, and before that let us use some standard definite integrals. We know that the value of 0 to pi cos n theta into cos n theta d theta is equal to 0 if your m is not equal to n. And again, we also know the value of cos square m theta or cos square n theta or sin square m theta equal to pi by 2. So the value of n again 0 to pi sin m theta and into sin n theta is again 0 for m is not equal to n. We know that these three integrals are equal to 0 or pi by 2. Okay. Now let us multiply the equation number 1 by cos m theta or by cos n theta and then integrate with respect to theta from 0 to pi. Multiplying multiplying 2 by cos n theta and integrating with respect to theta from 0 to pi, we get, now in the left hand side we will have 0 to pi cos of x sin theta into cos n theta d theta. So this will be your left hand side. Now in the right hand side, here we will have j naught and then the limits from 0 to pi and integration with respect to theta. So this will be your j naught and then integration from 0 to pi with respect to theta. So that will give you pi. Now here we will have 2j2 cos 2 theta into cos m theta. So that means if your m is not equal to 2, that means if your m is not equal to even, then that term will become 0. So again the third term will be your cos m theta into cos 4 theta. Again if your m is not equal to even number, then this integral 0 to pi cos 4 theta cos m theta will be 0. So that means this right hand side is equal to 0 if your n is odd, and this will be your pi into jn if your n is even or 0. So if your n is odd, then we will have cos 3 theta into cos 2 theta, cos 4 theta into cos 5 theta, and in that case this is your 0. And if your n is even or 0, if your n is 0, then we will have j naught into pi, and if your n is even, then we will have cos 2 theta into cos 2 theta, and that will be your pi by 2. So this will be your pi into j2. So that means this integral is equal to 0 if n is odd, and this is your pi into jn if your n is even or 0. Again multiplying equation number 3 by sin n theta and integrate with respect to theta from 0 to pi. So in the left hand side we will have 0 to pi sin of x sin theta, then we will have sin n theta d theta equal to, again in the right hand side if you multiply by sin n theta, so if your n is equal to even, then this will be your say sin theta into sin 2 theta, it is 0 because of this condition. And if your n is odd, only in that case we will get the value. So this is again 0 if your n is even, and this is your jn pi into jn if your n is odd. So we have these two important integrals. Now let us, now this is your when your n is even or odd 0, this is your when n is odd. So in general, thus we have, so if you combine these two results, this one and this one, then we can say that thus your pi into jn will be equal to the integral 0 to pi, this plus this will give you cos into x sin theta cos n theta plus sin of x sin theta into sin n theta and then d theta. So from here our Jn is equal to 1 upon pi 0 to pi. Now this is your cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. So this is your cos A minus B. So we have cos x sin theta minus n theta d theta. This integral was the original definition of the Bessel function, and it is known as your Jacobi integral. And if we put n equal to 0, then here we will get this is your Gn equal to x sin theta minus n theta. So if we put n equal to 0, then we will have J naught equal to 1.5 0 to pi cos of x sin theta and d theta. This is your again another Jacobi integral. Okay. Now let us prove that question. Show that your J naught square plus 2J1 square plus 2J2 square plus 2J3 square, the sum of this all is equal to 1. Prove this condition. Show that J0 square plus 2J1 square plus 2J2 square plus 2J3 square is equal to 1. So solution, and here, so question is, prove that J0 square plus 2J1 square plus 2J3 square and so on, the sum of these all is equal to 1. So here we will prove this with the help of this Jacobi series. So here we have the Jacobi series 2 and 3, and also we know these results. So our solution, we have these two results, and further we know these conditions. Also we have these conditions. Okay. Now let us square equation number 2 and equation number 3, and then, or before that, just square equation number 2 and integrate it from 0 to pi. So squaring 2, square equation number 2 and integrate from 0 to pi with respect to theta. So we will get, now this will be your cos square of x sin theta into d theta, and in the right hand side this will be your J0 square, and as we are integrating with respect to theta from 0 to pi, so we will have pi into J0 square, and here we will have 2J2 whole square, and then the integration of cos square to theta from 0 to pi, and the integration of cos square to theta will be pi by 2. So the next term will be 2J2 whole square into pi by 2. Then we will have 2J4 whole square into pi by 2, and so on. And what about, this is your a square, this is your b square plus c square plus d square, and so on. Now what about the terms 2ab? Here our 2ab will be integration of cos to theta, and integration of cos to theta will be sin to theta, and if you put your upper limit, then we will have sin 2 pi, and for the lower limit we will have sin 0. So that means this term is 0. Again we will have cos 2 theta into cos 4 theta, as our m is not equal to n, so this will be your 0. So that means all the remaining terms will be 0. So this is your equation, this is your, when we have squared equation number 2 with respect to square and integrate with respect to theta. Now let us square equation number 3 and then integrate with respect to theta. Again, square equation 3 and integrate with respect to theta from 0 to pi. So we get this left hand side will be your sin square of x sin theta d theta, and again we will have your pi 2j1 square, then we will have pi by 2 to j1 square, then we'll have pi by 2 to j3 square, and so on. With the same logic, other remaining terms will be 0. So let us add equation number 4 and 5. So 4 plus 5 implies, now in the left hand side we will have integral 0 to pi. Now this will be a cos square plus sin square, which is 1, so we have integral d theta. And in the right hand side, if you take pi common, then we will have j naught square. Now this is your 2 times j2 square. Here we will have 2 times j1 square. Then we will have 2 times j3 square. And here we will have 2 times j4 square. And so on. So now this will be your pi. So we have j naught square plus 2j2 square plus 2j1 square plus 2j3 square. The sum of all these is equal to 1. So the sum of all these is equal to 1. Now the last question, let us prove that question so that your j n minus n x equal to minus 1 power n into j n x when your n is equal to integer. Let us prove this value. So we have the definition of the Bessel function, which was your r equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 to power r factorial r gamma n plus r plus 1 into x1 to power n plus 2r. So if we replace our n by minus n, then we will have j minus n equal to this one. Now, as we know that our gamma is not defined for the 0 or negative numbers, so that means this gamma as gamma minus n plus r plus 1 will be equal to infinity if my n plus r plus 1 is either 0 or less than 0. So that means your r is less than equal to n minus 1. If your r is less than equal to n minus 1, then this will be your infinity, and your 1 upon infinity is 0. So that means if your r is less than equal to n minus 1, then all the terms will be 0. So that means our summation will start from n, because terms up to n minus 1 are 0. So therefore our j minus n will be equal to r equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 to power r factorial r. Now this summation will start from n minus n plus r plus 1 into x.2 power minus n plus 2r. So let us assume r minus n equal to s. So we have therefore we have j minus n equal to, now your r minus n will be s, so our s will start from 0 to infinity, then we will have minus 1 to power r, your r is n plus s, then your factorial r will be factorial n plus s, and your r minus n is your s, so this will be your gamma s plus 1, and in the power we will have x.2 power minus n, so minus n is s minus r, so we will have s minus r plus 2, so here we will have minus n plus 2 time of r, 2 time of r means 2n plus 2s, so here we will have 2s plus n, that means n plus 2s. Okay. So let us take this minus 1 to power n outside. So in the summation we have s equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 to power s, then this gamma s plus 1 will be your factorial s. Now this factorial n plus s can be written as n plus s plus 1 gamma, then here we have x.2 power n plus 2s, and this is your nothing but j and x. So that means your j minus n is equal to -1 to power n into j and x.